8:38 at the Big 550 KTRS. Paul Harris filling in for McGraw today. And time to talk with Kat Neville, editor and publisher of Feast Magazine, brought to you by Jimmy's on the Park at 706 DeMunn in Clayton. You can call them at 725-8585. I would guess that there are no reservations available for tonight because Jimmy's fans know to book early for New Year's Eve and others. But you can give them a shot anyway, 725-8585, or go to the website, jimmyscafe.com. There will be live entertainment there. And even if you can't get in tonight, they have great meals and great fire pits all year long at Jimmy's. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Do anything fun tonight?
Staying home.
Well, that could be very fun.
Yeah.
Pop open a nice bottle of wine and kind of watch the ball drop, as it were.
I think we're probably going to watch some old movies or something. And,
oh, nice.
Yeah, we tend to not to go out on New Year's Eve. I'm not a big be around crowds fan.
I hear you.
So what are you doing?
I'm probably going to head over to Blood and Sand for a cocktail, and I'm going to be, believe, going to Farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about this morning?
Okay, so our January issue has debuted. It is the Tastemakers issue. So every January, we devote the issue to people that are moving the industry forward, which is why we call it the Tastemakers issue. And we ran a number of really great features. We hosted our kind of like roundtable discussion in Kansas City. We did, one of our writers, Pete Doolin, did a really wonderful kind of roundup piece on production breweries, so craft breweries in this region, mainly in Missouri, but also in Kansas, who have not only entered the craft beer fray, but also they're working to become their production breweries, meaning that they are really kind of getting Missouri beer out to a very large audience across the entire region. And
this became the year that craft beers actually overtook big brewery beers, right?
Well, I don't believe they overtook. No, I mean, the volume from the large breweries is so massive, but these craft breweries are absolutely taking over a larger and larger segment of the drinking populace. And it's because the beers are really quite good. And again, the craft movement in general, it allows you to connect to who is making the products. And so much of what we're covering in Tastemakers are people that are part of that craft movement. So it's the craft beer. And then also Strange Donuts, which is, they debuted about a year ago after roughly a year of lead up to their launch. And in a year, they have just opened a month ago or so, they just opened their third location, the Strange Trap Kitchen. And they are working on opening up another location in Columbia where they're going to be partnered up with the guys from Soul Taco to create this kind of like donut Korean barbecue.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be really fantastic and perfect for a college town.
That Korean barbecue and taco thing has really taken off. There's a company called Kim Cheese that has a couple of locations I know of.
Exactly right.
I haven't gone in there yet. Is it good?
I haven't been there either, but our digital editor, Sarah, I believe, has actually been in there. So I'll check in and I'll report back.
Okay.
But so Strange Donuts, what they are doing is they have used collaboration and connection to creating a sense of community to build their brand, which is what the focus was for this Tastemakers issue, was how do people build these businesses and connect with their audiences. And so their donuts are fantastic. And what they do is they divide the donuts into the originals. So those are things like, cake donuts with great glazes on them. They do the classics, then the originals, where they do things that are much more kind of creative, but still within the realm of recognizable donut. So, for example, they have a PB and marshmallow donut, but they change all the time.
A fluffer nutter donut.
Essentially. And then they also do the Strangers. And the Strangers is where they really are playing. And very often they'll do savory donuts. But they work with chefs around town. And at the Trap Kitchen, which is at Brennan's in the Central West End. And the address is 4659 Maryland. What they're doing, for example, is they have something called a Hot Pocket, where they will fill these really large donuts with, for example, a tomato jam, and then top that with prosciutto and goat cheese and basil. And, so because donut dough is not necessarily sweet. It's very rich and kind of like pizza dough or something like that. It can serve as a base. So they really are playing around with a lot of things.
But the donut is not glazed in a traditional glazed
They do
donut.
have those kinds of
But
donuts.
I mean, the ones you're talking
No,
about. I mean,
it's not.
Glazed donut with prosciutto and tomato
it's not
jam.
A sweet,
and
it's
what?
not a sweet
What happened
donut.
there?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not. And so, what they do at the Strange Trap Kitchen, it's from 7 to 11. Tuesday through Friday are their hours that they're open, and they are inside of Brennan's in the Central West End. So again, kind of showing the way that two businesses can collaborate to create something else. So they're open when Brennan's is not, and they are using that space as a test kitchen, as a way to experiment with flavors and kind of push the envelope. And you would never think that that a donut concept would kind of blow up in this way, but I think that it's really a testament to the power of collaboration and being open to working with other types of companies in order to create something larger. And that's really what that really kind of distills what the craft movement is about. It's about exploring what's possible and playing with other creative people and creating something that's brand new.
I'm surprised there aren't more places. Like before we went on, you and I were talking about breakfast places.
Yeah.
And there are lots of them in the area now that are open from 5 or 6 in the morning until maybe 2 in the afternoon. And then you have a space that's just sitting there.
Yeah.
You're paying your lease on that get somebody else in there who's going to do a dinner thing. And there's a place in Clayton, I think it's actually called Half and Half, where it's a kind of a daytime restaurant and then switches to like a Mexican place in the evening.
It did. They are no longer doing that. And actually, the guys from Half and Half, they also have the Good Pie, which has moved over to the Loop. And the Good Pie is amazing. They have incredible pizza, and they're going to be opening up another concept just a couple of doors down, and that's in the works right now. So as soon as that actually launches, we'll be talking about it.
But are there more of these places that are one restaurant at times and another restaurant at other times?
It's something, there aren't a ton, but it is something that you do see every once in a while. And this is something where it's two different businesses utilizing the same space. So where what they were doing over at Half and Half, it was the same owner, the same chef, utilizing the space morning and evening for two different concepts. These are two different business owners that are using the same space,
that
which
would
is
work.
great.
That would, I would think, work better.
Yeah, it does.
If you can get them to cooperate. What do you mean the chairs are broken again?
Well, but I think that, again, what we're seeing is that spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and that is what is moving this industry forward. So where 15 years ago you saw just a lot of sameness and a lot of chains that were starting to infiltrate kind of what had been an independent restaurant scene. This is a direct reaction to that and saying, no, we want the flavor of our city. We want St. Louis to taste like St. Louis. And so Strange Donuts what they're doing is a great example of what is possible with something as seemingly small as a donut concept.
One of the restaurants featured in the 2015 Tastemakers edition of Feast Magazine, which is available now, and you can get information online at feastmagazine.com. Kat Neville, editor and publisher. Have a very happy new year.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you in 2015.
I look forward to it.
8:46 at the Big 550.